Hello and welcome to an exciting event here at Fjällräven, Australia. My name is Simon Burnett and I'm here at our flagship store located just near Sydney's QVB on York Street and just behind Sydney's George Street Apple Shop. I'm really aware that whilst I stand amidst the hustle and the bustle on the pavement of Sydney City, I want to remember and acknowledge the original Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the traditional custodians and caretakers of our land, Australia. The Gadigal people of the Eora Nation are the traditional custodians of this place that we now call Sydney, and we pay our respects and want to honour Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders, past, present and emerging. We acknowledge the stories, the traditions and the living cultures of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples on this land and commit to building a brighter future together. So today we launch an exciting new product into our line, coinciding with World Ocean Day 2021 and in partnership with Take 3 for the Sea. Today we launch our new and exciting Kanken Art 2021 initiative. Come into the store and join me for a few minutes. Fjällräven is a classic outdoor and lifestyle brand that ever since 1960 when we were founded has held a mission to encourage more people to spend time in nature. So this means from the beginning of every single stitch, we're making a commitment towards long life and less waste in every single one of our products. And we do this through design, materials, and even the considered repairability of our products. Every single product in our range is timeless, functional, durable, and sustainable. And sustainability is not an abstract concept for Fjällräven. Rather, it is a value that is shared within the company. And it has a natural impact on how products and our wider business is developed from the ground up. The functionality, the durability, and the timeless design are trademarks for Fjällräven, and all contribute to our products being used for decades, even generations, without needing to be replaced by new ones. I think this is a very unique thing in today's market. I wonder if you would imagine with me for a minute. I remember as a child walking along beaches, swimming in the ocean, and it being a clean and plastic-free place of beauty. This has changed, and it's happened just in my lifetime. It's happened really quickly. But imagine the day that together we can change this. There is real hope for the future. The heart, I think, of the launch here with Kanken Art stems from a passion to draw attention to the problem of ocean plastic pollution. And through the reach of the Fjällräven brand, we hope to directly offer consumers a way to be part of the solution. Together, we are the solution to pollution. And in the spirit of togetherness for the Kanken Art product launch, we've partnered with Australian not-for-profit Take 3 for the Sea, who are doing some amazing work through education that inspires participation. And together, we can catalyse a global movement of people to be the plastic pollution solution. So here's some of their amazing work.
The ocean is an incredible interconnected system of salt waterways that cover most of the Earth's surface and form 90% of our biosphere. The importance of its functions and systems cannot be overstated and has always been recognised by many of our Aboriginal peoples.
So the way Aboriginal people view the ocean is much like if you to view it as your heart. Physically, you need your heart to pump your blood to every bit of your body, your fingers, your toes, your head. And the rivers Picture them as the arteries. They're the big main arteries going into the land. And when the heart beats, it push-pull, just like the ocean, high tide, low tide. Waves hitting the shore, waves retracting from the shore.
While the Bachelor people have always known about the importance of our oceans and its systems, it's something that many others are yet to learn.
One of the things people don't often realise is that every waterway is interconnected. We start with a small creek, becomes the stream, becomes the river, estuary, then out into the coast and then out into the ocean.
It doesn't matter if you're in the centre of Australia, it doesn't matter if you're on another continent, all of the oceans are connected. There's not just one ocean, and all of the land is connected through the ocean as well and through the water cycle.
Where does rain come from? It comes from moisture, which is extracted from the ocean to finally find its way to fall across land.
So every ecosystem and every ocean is connected.
It's not just this static, vast mass, it's this beautiful connected system. You've got all those layers and stratification, the deepest ocean trenches to that upper layer that we just see when we look upon that vast blue mass. For me, the ocean is just something so cryptic, so magical, so beautiful that we haven't even scratched the surface to understand yet.
I mean, you can't understand the Earth without understanding the oceans, really. You know, they make up the greatest proportion of the surface of the planet, but also they're just an essential part of its breathing system. So if we think of the Earth as this kind of Gaia meta-organisms, the oceans produce the oxygen that we breathe, or a large proportion of that.
So we actually get about 70% of the oxygen that we breathe from the ocean, and so that's coming from things like seagrasses and marine algae and all of that photosynthetic organic matter in the ocean. So every 2 of 3 breaths that we take is actually produced via the ocean.
Producing our oxygen is just one of the many functions our oceans perform. They also play a largely hidden but key role in the climate of our planet.
The oceans moderate our climate. There's actually an ocean current that does a complete global loop. It's called the thermohaline conveyor. It starts in the Arctic or the Antarctic, and it starts a global journey. It takes over 1,000 years. Cold water from the poles is brought to the equator, and the warm water from the equator ends up at the poles. So that actually stops us getting the extreme heat and cold on our land masses. If that current stops, it's quite possible we go into an ice age, because the temperatures are no longer being moderated by the ocean because it's just not flowing.
Not only does the ocean control our climate, generate over half of the air we breathe, and provide our drinking water, it also absorbs more than 30% of carbon emissions from fossil fuels, is the primary source of protein for over 3 billion people, and is the most biodiverse system in our planet. 90% of our biosphere is in the ocean. Scientists estimate that 91% of ocean species have yet to be classified, and 95% of the ocean remains unexplored. We know so little about our ocean, even though it's our very life force. We exist because of it.
Without our ocean, we wouldn't have balance. So when we start our songs and we're singing our songs, when we start singing our Yawaware, we are singing into the land, into our brothers and sisters that are in the land, where they live on the mountains but we live on the ocean. And that's our sort of story towards the mountain people, is that without us, our whole system wouldn't work. We need your fresh water to run off the mountain into our creeks and into our rivers and into our lakes, and then our ocean's truly like our heart. Yeah, it's physically, emotionally, spiritually our heart.
The team at Take 3 are doing some incredible work, and this is our heart here as we launch this Kanken Art product into our line at Fjällräven. To person by person draw attention to the problem of ocean plastics and provide a simple solution. You know, if we are to see any impact, it's going to take collective change, so never underestimate your power to make change. And just to share a bit of story around that and hear a little more, I'd like to introduce you to Dana Lopez from Take 3 from the Sea and Jackson Delaney from our team here at Fjällräven Australia. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Simon. We're so happy to be here with Dana Lopez from Take 3 for the Sea. So Dana, tell us a little bit about Take 3.
So Take 3 has been around for about 11 years. Started up in the Central Coast with Mandy and Roberta. They're two of our three founders. Team is another one. They started seeing they surf. They were up in the Central Coast and they started seeing how much rubbish was at the beach after surfing. And they decided that they had to do something. And they started with take 10 pieces, then they went down to 5 pieces, and then finally got to 3 pieces of rubbish because it was a very doable amount when you are carrying your board and you're coming out of the water, and you can just quickly, very simply take 3 pieces of rubbish with you when you leave the beach or really anywhere, because we do believe that the ocean is downhill from everywhere you are.
And what are the key brand pillars of the organisation?
I think the main one would be that we take simple actions to tackle a very complex problem.
And how did you personally find your way to Take 3?
Interesting, yeah. So I work as a model, but I also surf and scuba dive, free dive. I'm always in the ocean. The ocean is my happy place, and I started seeing the same thing. And one day on Instagram, I saw that Take 3 was looking for volunteers to do a cleanup at the beach in Bondi. And I signed up, and I went and did the cleanup. And I couldn't believe how many people turned up, and I could not believe how much rubbish we actually picked up. It was 1 hour of cleanup, and I was shocked, because I thought, you know, you're in Bondi, a fairly tourist place that it gets clean regularly. It was just shocking for me. I was just like, oh my God, this is just not good. And from that day, because obviously I used my social media as my platform to share my work as a model, I decided that I had to do something else more to actually share and bring awareness about plastic pollution. And so then I came on board as an educator about almost 2 years ago now. And I get to go to schools and talk to kids and deliver our education program. And it's very rewarding because you do see they're the future, they're our future leaders. They unfortunately are the ones having to deal with a problem that has been going on for a while that they didn't have anything to do with to start with, but they have to deal with it. And it's very cool, very inspiring to have to be able to work with them and to see how full on and how inspired they get to actually take action. So yeah, that's how I came to Take 3. It's just, and from then on I started as an educator, and then after that I was like, I need to do more. I need to tackle bigger businesses, bigger fish in the ocean. And last year I studied environmental management, and now I'm doing environmental consultancy. So yeah, sort of like snowballing.
Amazing.
Getting to
well,
where
that's
I am
part of
today.
the whole issue, isn't it? We start from single people and then we move on to businesses.
Exactly, yes.
So tell us a little bit about some of the more complex problems that we're now facing with plastic. So it's not only just about bottles and the plastic you can see anymore. It's more about...
I think it's more about the pieces that you don't see, like microplastics. They're so tiny that once they enter the ocean, it's pretty much impossible to get them out. Last year we actually did a research trip. We went up to the Whitsundays. We sailed for a week. And then on the back of the boat you put a trawl where you pick up samples for half an hour. You pick up samples from the ocean, and you could see after half an hour it comes out, and then you filter it and you actually see how much tiny pieces of plastic there, which when you're sailing around you're like, oh, it's nothing here, and then when you look into it you're like, wow, we are actually not doing well at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge problem, and it's also a problem that we consume things that we don't even know that those microplastics are there. For example, face scrubs or toothpaste, stuff like that that we are not aware, because the information, I mean, it is sort of there, but they don't want us to see it, so it's in very tiny writing, so you have to really look for it. And I think that's the biggest problem, because it's something so small and it's really hard to tackle it because you don't see it, so you sort of forget about it. Yeah.
So what's something that the everyday person can do to get involved and to work on it every day?
I think it starts with your habits in your daily routine. That's what I did, for example, when I realized how much waste I was generating. It's a really good sort of exercise that you can do, and it's a bit gross, but you go through your rubbish for a whole week, you don't throw it out, and it's actually, I did it last year with uni, and then I was like, wow, okay, then you like sort of put in perspective, what are the things that you're using that you could reduce in your daily routine that they're going to make, in the long run, they're going to make a big impact. So for example, last year I did that exercise, and then I went from not composting to compost, and then that sort of reduces the amount of landfill waste that you generate. I think another one is like, you can just go through the rooms in your house. So I started with my bathroom, and from there you sort of look at your shampoo, your conditioner, where is it coming from? Is the company that you're supporting doing a good thing for the planet or not? I think those are the sort of questions that you need to ask yourself, like, where are you putting your money? Because as consumers, we do have that power. We have the power of putting our money to good businesses that they're doing good for the planet. And yeah, I think that's the main thing that you need to look into your daily routine and like try to change things around like that. Say no to plastic bags, obviously, like the keep cups or your water. It's just like very simple actions that in the long run are gonna make a big difference.
Yeah. So what are some of the key milestones that Take 3 has hit so far in the 11 years?
So far, well, I think the biggest one is that we're in 129 countries, which is huge. When you think about it, a non-profit organisation starting in the Central Coast in Australia to go to 129 countries is huge. It's just like, you got to show the power of social media and the power of using a simple hashtag and how much people get involved and want to be part of it. And from that simple action that is like super simple, you take 3, you share on social media, and then you're making a difference. It's just like, I found that is like super cool, amazing work, and like it's really cool as well when we get emails from like all over the place just saying how much they get involved and how much they're sharing our message. I think another one obviously is like with our education programs, we have educated over 500,000 students in over more than 1,000 schools, and it just keeps growing and growing, which I found very cool. We also got an online program as well that it's available to everyone. And I think that's key, like the education part of it as well. It's huge because we need more people to know about the problems that we have in order to tackle it.
So over the last 2 days, you had your youth summit at Taronga Zoo, and obviously Fjällräven, we were part of that and we helped to sponsor. What are some of the other brands do you see that happening now, brands coming to the organisation to work with you guys?
Oh, more and more, like we are getting approached more and more by companies that they want to be part. Yep. And they want to share our message and they want to do good for the planet. And it's great. It was great to have you guys on board. The kids got so excited. The summer was super cool. And I think the more companies that get involved with us, the better it is, because then they got a bigger reach and they already have that audience, like you guys. You're going to share our message and more people are going to see it. And I think that those partnerships are key for our organisation to keep sharing our message.
We loved being part of the Youth Summit, and I know personally I've had you guys on my mind, on my radar for a while. So once we knew that we were focusing on ocean plastics and ocean cleanup, I knew that it was one of the organisations that we wanted to partner with. It's just been really great to get involved with you guys and being able to spread your message a bit more.
Well,
so thanks for coming.
Thank you for being part of it.
So let's talk a little bit about Kanken Art. Kanken Art 2021 is art with a mission to keep plastics out of the oceans, piece by piece. It can be hard to imagine, but about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by oceans. They produce over half of the oxygen on our planet and are home to over 1 million species of animals and even more plants. The oceans are the key regulators of the climate, and it is safe to say that every living thing on Earth is dependent on the health of our seas. Tragically, estimates indicate that by the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the oceans than there are fish. Unless we seriously change our habits and the way we handle our waste, this will only get worse. The 2021 edition of Kanken Art aims to increase the awareness around these problems, but also hopes to inspire change. Since 80% of the ocean plastics come from land, our immediate surroundings are a good place to start. So let's do it together, one piece of plastic at a time. You might be wondering, what can a single backpack achieve? After 2 successful annual releases, the third Kanken Art edition aims to draw attention to the problem of ocean plastics. This year's Kanken Art products feature a design in 2 colour palettes, Ocean Surface and Ocean Deep. The unique twist was developed by Swedish illustrator and animator Lynn Fritz, who sees the opportunity to help raise awareness about plastic waste and the health of our oceans. This range is a small step in the right direction. The fabric we have used consists of Fjällräven's G1000 Heavy Duty Eco, which is made from recycled polyester and organic cotton. Furthermore, all Kanken Art products contribute to the Arctic Fox Initiative, with 1% of every purchase going directly to the Arctic Fox Initiative support for organisations working to keep plastics out of the oceans.
So as you can see, Kanken Art 2021 is not just a beautiful product, but it is an amazing initiative that you can get behind. So I'd encourage you to read more, check it out, visit our website at www.fjllraven.com.au, visit any of our flagship stores in Sydney and Melbourne, and thank you very much, because just remember that you can be the change and you can be the solution to the pollution problem that we are experiencing in our world today. Thank you.